Just going to step in here and tell you about the two managers, statisticians for the WLA girls basketball varsity squad, Brooklyn Kingsland and Lily Mookie. They are the two statisticians for them. I know it's probably difficult to hear with the crowd mic trying to go through a crowd here before getting to Coach Schaffnagel. The three seniors tonight for the Vikings on senior night: Peyton Chemnitz, Maddie Laird, Jess Pino. And we'll see if we can pick up Coach Schaffnagel and his words about them.
And Jess Pino, her parents, okay, thank you so much, Steve. We appreciate it.
Crosstown rivals with postseason momentum on the line. Good Friday evening, everyone. I'm Jordan King, back on January 7th. WLA traveled up the hill to take on Springs, both with visions of contending for a Flyway Conference championship. Despite leading for most of the night, some spotty free throw shooting, amongst other things, cost the Vikes a tough conference road win. That night, the Ledgers grinded out a 74-66 win and positioned themselves at the time for a second-place Flyway finish. Tonight, the Vikings have a chance to avenge that loss. Laconia are the conference champs and the number 1 seed in the regional. We know that. Springs will be the number 2 seed in the regional come next week. We know that. But the Vikings certainly won't lay over and hand second place in the conference to the Ledgers tonight. We know that, too. Should be a good one. Springs WLA, Ledgers Vikings, an old Flyway rivalry right here on WLA TV. Starters and anthem next.
Winnebago Lutheran Academy welcomes you to this evening's Flyway Conference basketball game between the Ledgers of St. Mary Springs Academy and the Vikings of Winnebago Lutheran Academy. Winnebago Lutheran Academy, St. Mary Springs Academy, and the WIAA require good sportsmanship and education-based sporting events. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please stand, remove your hats, and join us in honoring America and those who protect it with the playing of our national anthem. It's time to meet the starting lineups for this evening's game. First, for the Ledgers, a 5'6" senior, number 4, Braley Freund. A 5'9" senior, number 10, Izzy Kuhn. A 6' junior, number 13, Haley Hoffman. A 5'9" junior, number 20, Reese Newman. And a 5'9" junior, number 22, Sydney Pitts. The Ledgers are coached by Mitch Redding.
Well, I want to welcome you into the campus of Winnebago Lutheran Academy. Jordan King with you this evening as we previewed in the Open. It's the Vikings and the Ledgers. A second place finish in the Flyway Conference is on the line. We'll meet the WLA starters introduced by themselves in just a second. Starters for the Ledgers. Number 4, Braley Freund. Number 10, Izzy Kuhn. Number 13, Haley Hoffman. Number 20 is Reese Newman, and number 22 is Sydney Pitts. They're meeting them in this house right now. Starters this evening for the Vikes.
Junior guard, number 2, Kiera Shea.
Sophomore wing, number 5, Lindsay Nell.
Junior wing, number 10, Siri Kuski.
Senior post, number 11, Jess Pennell.
Sophomore wing, number 22, Abby Cole.
There you go. There's the starters for the Vikings. They've remained the same pretty much the entire season. Just to repeat them: 2, Kiera Shea. 5, Lindsay Nell. 10, Siri Kuski. 12, Jess Pennell. 22, Abby Cole. Featuring 3 of the top players in the Flyway Conference, several of the other top players in the Flyway playing on the other side in the blue for the Ledgers. Springs on the road in the road blues, white numbers, Vikes in their home uniforms with the blue numbers and blue trim on the outside. 18 minutes on the clock. 36 tonight to figure out who will be second place in the Flyway. Ledgers have at least a share of it locked up. Vikings want the other piece of that share. Ledgers can be solo second in the Flyway Conference behind a dominant Laconia team so far this season. First possession here for the Ledgers is they got the 74-66 win up at St. Mary's Springs earlier this season. Haley Hoffman not playing in that game, and she misses her first opportunity here this evening. Rebound down to Kiera Shea. She's up ahead to Lindsay Nell. Nell crosses, has it poked away. It's going to stay. Check that. Poked out of the hands. Nice defense there by Sydney Pitts. And going back the other way, Pitts, Newman, Hoffman, all part of the terrific sophomore class from a year ago that got a lot of experience and are now juniors for the Ledgers. Down the lane goes Reese Newman, not able to get it to go. She's working on Abby Cole here this evening. And a slow start for both offensively. 0 for 2 from the floor are the Ledgers. Vikes have yet to get off a shot against what is a very good Springs defense. Here's a triple straight away from Abby Cole. Rattles around and out. And Springs will head back the other way in transition. Here's Izzy Kuhn, leading scorer for Springs. Oh, and they're going to get a foul for Kiera Shea, who is hustling back. Looked like she might have been able to block it, but got a bit of hand there of Izzy Kuhn. Kuhn averages 11.4 points per game and heads to the free throw line early on here. First shot from Kuhn hits the back of the iron, and that's the proverbial shooter's roll there for Izzy Kuhn. Kuhn and Freund, the two seniors on this team for the Ledgers, and two of the top three scorers so far this season for a very balanced Ledger squad. And Springs, no doubt, probably wanting to erase some of the bad taste in their mouths from how their season ended last year, right on this floor, to the high-powered, high-scoring Viking team from a season ago. There's a shot from Nell, no good. Rebound to Hoffman. She shovels it ahead, and Reese Newman's going to trigger up a three here. Hit it. Reese Newman gets a 5-0 run going here for the Ledgers. She hits the left wing three, and it's a 5-0 lead. Ledgers going to go full court man-to-man here, and just a little token pressure trying to turn the Vikings, if nothing else, in the backcourt. Down underneath from Shea down to Nell, and Nell is fouled. Second foul here of the night. First for Springs. I believe they're going to get Izzy Kuhn on this, her first. And the first trip to the line for Lindsay Nell. She had her problems in the first meeting with these two at the free throw line. Nell averages 60% from the line. And a first opportunity here for the Vikings. First free throw up and good. And Nell is 1 for 1. So first point tonight for the Vikes. Second free throw for Nell is good as well. She's 2 for 2 from the line. Again, a 60% free throw shooter. So decent response for the Vikings. Got to take care of the basketball a little bit better than they did in the first meeting, and certainly have to shoot free throws better. So that's a good start for them. Looking at Hoffman underneath, gets position against Jess Pino. Wild pass lobbed back out, but collected by Braylee Freund. Pitts in the corner. Newman comes off a screen. She's already hit a three. Vikes run her off the three-point line down to Hoffman, and Hoffman finishes. Haley Hoffman's first points of the night, 7-2 Springs. Kiera Shea, the one-person press break for the Vikes, throws up a wild shot, and she's bailed out with a foul call and heads back to the free throw line for the Vikes. Second trip for WLA, second foul on Springs. And that's the second on Kuhn, so that's a big foul there that they whistle on Kuhn. Two here in the first, 2 minutes and change for Izzy Kuhn. Kuhn does it all for the Ledgers, averages north of 7 boards a game as well. Second free throw up and good for Kiera Shea. So the Vikings shooting well from the line. Haven't seen a free throw missed for either team so far. Kuhn is 2 for 2, Shea is 2 for 2, and Nell is 2 for 2. Here's Sydney Pitts. Pitts crosses over, gets into the front court, hands off to Kuhn. Coach Reddig confident that Izzy Kuhn's going to be able to play cleanly. That was deflected, blocked, and collected by Abby Cole. Up ahead to Siri Kuski. Kuski kicks it back out. Shea's going to think about the three. Instead, kick it top of the key, Abby Cole. Almost drug the pivot foot there. Here's a three for Lindsay Nell. She shoots it above 40%, and Nell hits it. Nell's got 5, and the Vikes tie it up. This is a 7-2 run for WLA. A little bit of a slow start for them, but that's the response you're looking for if you're Coach Schaffnagel. Here's Pitts, back to Newman, top of the key, 3 on the way. This looks good, off to the right. Tipped up and around, and offensive rebound collected by Pitts. That's something the Ledgers do tremendously well with all their length on the perimeter. Oh, we're going to get a second foul on Kiera Shea, and that's a big one. And Shea picked the pocket of Haley Hoffman. All ball on that one, but as we've seen so often in the Flyway Conference, we're going to see the best players leave the floor in foul trouble. So 2 fouls for Kuhn. She leaves the floor. Coach Schroffnagel is going to keep Shea out there with 2 fouls. Here's a Freund 3. She missed that one deep. One-handed rebound collected somehow by Lindsay Nell. Pulled that one down. Up ahead to Siri Kuski. Kuski kicks it back out to Nell. Tipped around by Newman. Nell's going to keep control of it, and they're going to tie it up there. It'll stay with WLA. As WLA almost had their 3rd turnover in the first couple of minutes of tonight's game. Vikes get it inbounded. Down to the corner. Here's Abby Cole driving. Nice strong drive. Shovels it underneath to Jess Pino. Cole muscles one up. Offensive rebound. She's fouled. No whistle. And it's stolen by Springs. Here's Freund into the front court. Hands off to the recently introduced Grace Kuhn onto the floor. Here's Ellie Judkins. Judkins loses control, but she gets it back from Reese Newman. Newman looks underneath. Tipped away by Pino. Good defense by the Vikings. Just approaching 4 minutes into this one. Both teams play terrific defense. They both score right around the low 60s, high 50s for both of these. There's Kiara Shea getting into a passing lane. Shea still leads the Flyway. She averages 4.2 steals per game. Both point guards, Kiara Shea for the Vikings and Reese Newman for the Ledgers, average 3.5 assists per game. That's tops in the Flyway Conference. Kiara Shea, 1st in steals, 1st in assists, 2nd in scoring. Here's Ellie Judkins. She can shoot it from there. Misses that one, though. A little bit short. Rebound down to Siri Kuski. Up ahead to Cole, and Cole with the cross-court pass to Lindsay Nell. Nell hands to Cole. Cole with their left-hand dribble. Nice bounce pass down the lane. Kiara Shea and the Vikes have their first lead of the night. 4 points for Shea, and the Vikes lead or run is now 7-2. Here's Lindsay Nell in the passing lane. Cross-court pass to Shea once again. She finishes. Kiara Shea finished that one like she was 5'11". She's just 5'4". And Shea's got a quick 6 here this evening. Ooh. Looked like it might have been a double dribble. Instead, it was just bobbled there, so it'll stay with Springs. Nice job by Braylee Freund to be in the right spot. Shea almost got her hand on that one once again. Here's a triple from Kuhn. This one misses off to the right. Lindsay Nell down with the rebound. Averages 8.1 boards per game does Nell. Nell almost has it stolen by Judkins. She hands off instead to Abby Cole. Cole with the left-hand drive. Up with the left hand. Oh, rims around and out. Abby Cole will take the 3rd trip to the line for the Vikes, her first tonight. Cole on the season shoots at 59.5%. That's pretty much WLA through and through. First free throw for Cole rattles home.
Number 12, Maddie Lair.
WLA shoots it at a 60% clip, I would say is a fair assessment. That's probably being generous. Second free throw for Abby Cole. Looked like Nell might have been in there early. No whistle there. Offensive rebound to Siri Kuski. Gets it over to Nell. Nell goes up with it. Offensive board. Goes up with it strong again. Another offensive rebound. No, it's going to be tied up, and it'll go back the other way. Coach Schroffnagel seeing a couple of opportunities there that kind of go a begging for the Vikes, and a chance to extend a lead out to 7 points. Instead is now just a 12-7 lead. This is Newman. Oh, Newman took her eye off the ball and through her hands, and it'll go back to the Vikings. So the Vikings still working on a run here. It's now a 12-2 run for the Vikes. They went on a massive run, something like a 46-6 run in the playoff victory over Springs last season. I would be shocked if this ended in a 46-6 run, but you never know. Shea looks to the corner. Siri Kuski doesn't shoot a ton of threes, and that one misses deep. Offensive rebound saved by Maddie Lair. Shea's got to be careful over there defending Kuhn. Kuhn spins once. Gets the skip pass to Freund. Backdoor cutting Kuhn. Up with the left hand and finishes. Check that right hand for Grace Kuhn. Kuhn with the first bench points for the Ledgers. She's got 2, and that's finally ends the 12-2 run for the Vikes. And the lead is 3 for WLA. Handing off to Nell is Cole down to the corner. They're going to get a hold before the travel for Lindsay Nell. And Grace Kuhn picks up her first.
And number 25, Gracie Conkle. And in for the Vikings, number 25, McKenna Conkey.
McKenna Conkey's first action this evening. She comes in for Siri Kuski. Maddie Lair looks to get it in. She's going to lob it over the top, get it to Kiera Shea. Shea gets it to Nell. Nell guarded by Newman, kicks it back to Shea. Shea thought about the 3. Thought about the long 2, gets it back to Nell. Nell spins once, down on the block. Has Conkey top of the key. McKenna Conkey drives to the free throw line, back to Nell. Nell goes down the right side of the paint, scoops up and scores. Lindsay Nell has made that her move. Going down the left side or right side of the paint, scooping up with the right hand over her right shoulder. Here's a 3 for Reese Newman. That's a response that Coach Reddig was no doubt looking for. He's going to take a 30-second timeout with it as well. That is the response Springs was lacking last year in the playoffs. And this season, a little bit more experienced, a few more games under the belt, and weathering the WLA storm a little bit better this season. 14-12. Vikings also weathered an early storm. It was a 5-0 lead for Springs. WLA then went on a 12-2 run. Springs now responding with a 5-2 run of their own. That leads to a WLA 2-point lead. Leaders so far, Lindsay Nell leads all scorers this evening. She's got 7. Kiera Shea has 6, 1 for Maddie Lair. Check that, Abby Cole, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Springs going to stay in the full court man-to-man. It's not really intended to turn WLA over as much as it is just delay how quickly WLA gets into their offense. Although, tell you what, Grace Conkle here is doing a nice job. And as I say that, Grace Conkle gets the steal and finishes. Conkle is a 5'5 freshman for Coach Reddig. Ends here with Cole. Cole down the paint, shovels it to Maddie Lair. Controlled by Shea somehow. Shea goes down the paint, kicks it out. This is a long 2 from McKenna Conkey. Rebounded down to Newman. Tie game here between Springs and WLA. Newman looks far side. That is Grace Kuhn. Kicks it back to Newman. Top of the key, Judkins resets for Springs. Down here to Conkle. Looks for a skip pass. That's Kuhn. Judkins, shot fake, dribbles. Down to Newman. Newman kicks it out. That's a nice pass. Here's a triple on the way. Misses off the backboard. Newman, offensive board, shovels it to Judkins. And that's an offensive foul. They're going to wave it off as Judkins pushed off on McKenna Conkey. I don't think Judkins was big enough to knock Conkey over. It certainly looked like there was enough contact to warrant a whistle. Perhaps maybe you say a no call there. But if you were going to whistle something, it would have been an offensive foul. 14-14, near side Maddie Lair. Top of the key, Conkey. Couple of dribbles, backdoor cut from Shea, not found by Conkey. Now Shea's in the corner. Underneath, establishing is Cole, kicks it to Nell. Nell's second 3 of the night. This one rattles around and out, and it's tipped around to Reese Newman. Newman has a handful of boards already this evening. Done a nice job on the glass for Springs. Here's Judkins. Takes Conkey off the dribble once again. Pass wrapped around Abby Cole, and Cole fouled her. Should be the first one on Abby Cole.
Number 22, Abby Cole.
9:38 to go in the first half.
And in for the Vikings, number 10, Siri Kuski, and number 11, Jess Pinnell.
Springs, a little bit of trouble getting it in there, but they end up lobbing it into Grace Kuhn. Down to the corner, this is Pitts. Pitts underneath to Newman. Newman's working against Jess Pinnell. Right now, Newman is not really looking to score underneath, but they're passing out of that post touch very, very well, trying to get some shooters open. Here is a long 2 from Conkle. That misses. Tipped around. Reese Newman. Count the basket and the foul. Reese Newman has 8 points in, counting for Springs. And I don't think Coach Schwartz I don't know if that was frustration on the defensive end or the whistle. Free throw from Newman misses anyway, so the foul doesn't really play a huge factor there. Here's Maddie Lair. Lair bounces to Shea. Shea down to Kuski in the corner. Looking for Pino. That's a dangerous pass, but Jess Pino got Stickum on her hands, and she finishes underneath. That's a nice job by Jess Pino. Into the front court quickly comes Springs. Here's another Reese Newman three. She's 2 for 2 so far. Misses that one short. Another offensive rebound for Springs. Newman has it in the corner. She's going to key up another one. This one looks better, and she hit it again. Reese Newman has 11 of the 19 for Springs, and it's a 3-point Ledger lead. Near side, Conkey looks underneath to Siri Kuski was the cutter. Instead goes top of the key Lair. It gets swung around to Pino in the post. Skip pass to Maddie Lair. Underneath with Siri Kuski. Kuski can't finish. Better defense that time from Springs. After a couple of defensive possessions that Springs probably would have liked back. That's blocked by Jess Pino. Tipped around. Shea has it poked away. Thought Kira Shea was going to be into the front court, but poked away. Shea's got to be careful in those 50-50 balls with 2 fouls as well. Here's Newman, guarded by McKenna Conkey. Spins once, down to Pino, and kicks it out. This is Grace Kuhn. Ledger's doing all of this with their leading scorer, Izzy Kuhn, on the bench with a pair of fouls. And look no worse for the wear. And that was a conversation I had with Coach Schroffnagel. The Springs is so deep this season. The difference between 1 and 9 really is not that big for Springs. Now, that's not to disparage the player that Izzy Kuhn is. She's a terrific player. That's a nice take by Grace Kuhn. Missed that one. Rebound is long to Siri Kuski. She gets it to Shea. Shea lays it in. A lot of contact on that. No whistle. 8 points for Kiara Shea. Conkle into the front court. Springs is running after made baskets as well. They want to get out in transition. Down to the corner, that is Pitts. Check that, that is Tessa Tenney's. Tenney's another good shooter for Springs. That's starting to sound like a broken record here. Springs has so many good shooters. 5th team foul here for the Vikings. Jess Pino's second. So, as is the case a lot of times for WLA, they have first half foul trouble add up with, as you know, Coach Schroffnagel only has 10 players, doesn't generally go terribly deep into his bench. 8 players is usually as far as he goes. Underneath to Hoffman. She hasn't seen a ton of action here tonight. Neither has Braylee Freund, but Freund just hit a 3. 4-point lead for Springs, 22-18. Braylee Freund can shoot the basketball, and she hit a right wing 3 there. Nell spins once, looks down to the corner, it's tipped away. Cole has it now top of the key, crosses once. Back to Nell. Nell Springs now into a shifting zone. Nell goes down to the middle of the paint, tipped around, ends up with Cole. Cole goes up strong with it, and that is a travel. They're going to get a foul before the travel. Abby Cole with a 2-handed push that we all saw. Coach Schroffnagel doesn't like what he sees. It's a full timeout. We'll take it with him. This is WLA Basketball on WLA TV. So coming out of the timeout, that was the second on Abby Cole. 2 for Cole, 2 for Pino, 2 for Shea. Here near side, this is Conkle. 4-point lead for Springs. Far side, Freund. Back to Conkle. Pitts is back in. Sydney Pitts is back in. That's tied up. Or check that. Izzy Kuhn, sorry. And back to the center of the court is the star of the show tonight.
In for the Vikings, number 2, Kiara Shea.
It's never too early for a little offense-defense. I don't know if that's what Coach Schroffnagel's intending there, but he got a one possession break there for Kiara Shea. Normally, Shea is not someone you want off the floor defensively. Springs is dropping back into this 2-3, 1-2-2, whatever you want to call it. 2-1-2, I don't really know. It's shifting around and clearly confusing the Vikings. Lair threw that one away. Too many empty possessions where the Vikes have not gotten a shot yet this first half. Here is Pitts. Behind the back dribble, gives it to Conkle. Izzy Kuhn's in the near corner. Instead go to Braylee Freund on the far side. Reese Newman has been the best player for Springs tonight. She's on the floor, or on the bench right now. Braylee Freund has that one poked away by Abby Cole. Cole looks up ahead to Kiara Shea, and if Shea was 5'10", that would have been a great pass. Here's Pitts working against Maddie Lair. Instead, they're going to get it up to Izzy Kuhn. Kuhn picks her dribble up and goes back to Pitts, top of the key. Pitts on the drive. Freund now. Back to Pitts. They're trying to get Hoffman established inside as she leans on Lindsay Nell. Good battle going on underneath there. A couple of talented post players. Here's a three from Sydney Pitts. Her first shot of the game is good. I'm sorry, that's Tessa Tenney's. Tessa Tenney's with the shot. Kiara Shea. You better not blink when Kiara Shea has the ball. She scores again, but the lead. Vikings trading twos with threes here for Springs, and Springs has slowly increased its advantage out to 5 points. 25-20. Here's Tenney's. Just hit the three. Down to Hoffman. Hoffman trying to lob it into Kuhn. That's a tough matchup for Kiara Shea, and Kuhn scores. Izzy Kuhn's got 4. Averages, as I mentioned, 11.5 points per game. Playing, just letting the game come to her tonight. Very patient. Kind of had to be with those 2 early fouls. Here's Lindsay Nell, wide open for 3, missed it off to the left. Tipped around. Siri Kuski gets the offensive board. That's tipped once again. Maddie Lair has it in the middle of the paint. And the Vikes have had a lot of bunnies that haven't gone this early in this one. Rebound was down to Braylee Freund, 7-point lead. This is the largest lead tonight for Springs. Kuhn to the middle of the paint, kicks it out. Down the lane goes Conkle. That's a nice take. Hard to believe Grace Conkle is just a freshman, fearless in the paint for Springs. Kiara Shea shovels it back to Nell. Here's Lair, back to Nell in the corner. Thought about the 3, now spins. Drives the paint, almost got carried it there. Abby Cole down the paint. That's good, plus the foul for Abby Cole. Cole's got 3. If you didn't join us last night, Abby's older brother, Ethan Cole, within 5 points of tying, 6 points of setting the new career scoring title record at WLA. He's got 1,300 points, 1,307. Is where Cole currently sits. The record is 13-12 from back in the 90s at WLA. That rims around and out. Cole is 1 for 3 from the free throw line this evening, and the Vikes trail by 7. Down to the corner. Kicked out to Newman from Pitts. That was Pitts, I promise this time. Grace Kuhn on the near side. Vikings into the 1-3-1. Siri Kuski got her hand on a pass. Kuski was just dropping as you do on the weak side in a 1-3-1, and she was able to tip it away, collect the steal. That's a dangerous pass, and Lindsay Nell's able to corral it ahead of Reese Newman. That's tipped. Haley Hoffman collects the steal here, and there's a double dribble or a travel. You pick. They're going to go with the travel.
In for the Vikings, number 11, Jess Pinot.
And Pinot returns with the 2 fouls. Gracie Conkle back into the game as well for Springs. Through a couple of screens goes Kuski. Shea's trying to find someone. Shea was open in the corner. Instead, Nell goes down the right side. She is fouled. It's going to come up short, and they're going to say that was on the shot. So 2 shots forthcoming for Lindsay Nell.
On the line for the Vikings, number 5, Lindsay Nell.
Nell does not take long at the charity stripe. It's just one dribble, line it up, and let it fly. She's 3 for 3 tonight and misses this one. Strong and off to the right there for Lindsay Nell. Here's Pitts. Skip pass to Newman. She's hit 3 threes this first half. There's number 4. If Newman's hitting shots like that, Springs is terribly difficult to defend. Here's Kuski. Largest lead of the night for Springs is 9, 32-23. Pino in the corner. Kicks it to Lindsay Nell. Nell drives the lane up with the floater, misses it. Offensive rebound fought for, last touched by Hoffman, and it'll stay with WLA. So far, Springs' length has been able to deal with the 1-3-1 that has given so many teams trouble this season against WLA. They've thrown it over the top of it. Shea thought about the 3. Springs has run her off the 3-point line all night. Offensive rebound for Kiera Shea. And Kiera Shea was the first Viking into double figures, and she's now got 12. Here is Pitts. Pitts on the drive, up with the left hand. That's too easy. And Sydney Pitts, those are her first points of the game, and re-extends it to a 9-point lead. Shea crosses, bounces here to Siri Kuski, down to Lindsay Nell. Nell around a Kuski screen, skip pass to Shea. Trying to get Pino posted up under there. Instead it goes to Nell. In the middle of the paint, gets the floater to go. Nell now is the second Viking into double figures. She's got 10. Grace Kuhn in the backcourt, bounces near side to Pitts. Pitts through the Viking defense, back out to Kuhn. There's Newman. She wants a heat check. This one misses deep. And it's going to go back over to the Vikes. And Ellie Judkins will return. So far we've seen Grace Kuhn and Gracie Conkle, a couple of freshmen for Springs that have been very, very good. Here's Kiera Shea through the contact, misses it. Offensive rebound, fought for by McKenna Conkey. See if Coach Schroffnagel gets a timeout. I think he did. Or are they going to get a foul? They're going to get a foul on Springs here. Was that on Hoffman? They're going to get Hoffman on it. Bonus free throws for the Vikings. They missed a lot of these and really was probably the difference the first time around between these two. Front end made this time from McKenna Conkey, and she misses that one. Offensive rebound fought for, but Reese Newman collects the defensive board for Springs. Newman into the front court. This is Pitts down to the corner with Conkle. Conkle has it. Left wing 3 on the way. This one's deep, and Conkey's going to let it trickle out of bounds. 53 seconds left. We'll see how aggressive Coach Schroffnagel wants to be here. Pino's going to leave for Abby Cole. And I don't know if this is too much time to ask for one shot. I think Coach Schroffnagel is a big believer in just run your offense and get a good look. Doesn't really, just be patient and make sure it's a good look. If that's with 50 seconds left, take it. If it's with 20 seconds left, take it. And McKenna Conkey's going to pick up a foul on the rebound. It'll be Reese Newman to the free throw line as we see the bevy of free throws continue here in the first half. Vikings have shot quite a few more charity stripe shots than Springs has. And Newman will take her time and collect herself. The top scorer of anyone tonight, mostly due to her 4 triples that she's hit. She's 0 for 1 from the free throw line, misses the front end there, and the Vikings can't get out of their own way right now. Haley Hoffman owes both Lindsay Nell and Abby Cole a Christmas card for that one as they knocked it out of each other's hands. Vikings were going to come away from that possession unscathed. Here's Kiera Shea. Hasn't shot a 3 yet tonight. This one misses deep. Offensive rebound. Siri Kuski gives it to Cole. That's a fadeaway, and Cole couldn't step into it. You could tell. Here's Conkle. Oh, that was not a great closeout by the Vikings. Pitts can't hit the three, almost banked it in, and the Vikings have some work to do. What is the message at halftime? The Vikings trail by 8 and have 10 minutes to figure out what to do about it. We'll add up some halftime stats here, come back. It's senior night. No Peyton Chemnitz available for the Vikes tonight. We've seen Maddie Lair and we've seen Jess Pino for the Vikings. A lot of whistles there in that first half. Vikings trail by 8 at the intermission, 36-28. You're watching on WLA TV. Back here at halftime, WLA TV, I'm Jordan King taking you through tonight's action. The Ledgers and the Vikings. If St. Mary Springs wins this one, they will take second place in the Flyway behind Laconia. First half scoring for the Ledgers, 2 points for Grace Kuhn, 2 for Sydney Pitts, 3 for Tessa Tenney's, 4 for Izzy Kuhn, 3 for Braylee Freund, 4 for Gracie Conkle. And then the leading scorer for the Ledgers is Reese Newman. Newman averages 9.2 points per game. She has 14 in the first half. Just white hot from 3 was Reese Newman. She hit 4 triples there in the first half. Vikes only have 1 3. That came from Lindsay Nell. 1 point for McKenna Conkey, 2 for Jess Pino, 3 for Abby Cole. Lindsay Nell had 10. Kiera Shea had 12 for the Vikings. So the Vikes have to turn it around. Obviously dealt with a little foul trouble in that first half. They have several players with 2 fouls, going to have to keep an eye on that. It's Shea, Pino, and Cole, all with a pair of fouls. So if they were to pick one up early in the second half, that could potentially have an impact on this evening's game. Izzy Kuhn has 2 for Springs. 5 minutes left there during halftime. Coach Schroffnagel usually keeps it short and sweet with his teams, but they're still in the locker room trying to figure out what the solution is against the crosstown rival St. Mary's Springs this evening. The Ledgers lead by 8. You're watching on WLA TV. Glad to have you back here, campus of Winnebago Lutheran Academy. Jordan King with you, WLA TV. The Vikings trying to avoid their 6th loss of the season and hand Springs their 5th loss of the year. Reese Newman's trying to pick up where she left off. First one misses. Another offensive rebound. Braylee Freund hits it and pays off the second chance points for Springs. If I was smarter and had about 3 more hands up here, I would keep track of second chance points too. And if I did, I kind of surmised that there would be quite a few Springs second chance points this evening. It's an 11-point lead for the Ledgers. Once again, their largest of the evening. And WLA's just got to chip back here in this second half. Here's Lindsay Nell. Retreat dribble, skip pass to Kuski. She keeps it in, gives it to Shea. Good ball movement by the Vikings. Ends up with Cole. Floater, banked it in. Cole only had 3 in the first half. She averages 13.7 points per game. Here's Izzy Kuhn. Reese Newman, back to Kuhn. Kuhn kicks it to Freund. Just hit the 3 from right there. Better closeout this time from Lindsay Nell. Pitts, skip pass. Freund. Top of the key, Newman. Newman with the left-handed dribble drive. Kicks it back to Pitts. There's Newman underneath to Hoffman. Cutting is Izzy Kuhn, and a nice defensive play by Abby Cole to step into the passing lane. Here's Lindsay Nell. Nell back to Shea. Down to the corner, Kuski. She's not going to shoot that very often. Nice cut by Abby Cole. Back out to Kuski. Skip pass to Nell. Nell drives the paint up with the right hand and finishes. That's a really nice take by Lindsay Nell. She's got a dozen, and the Vikes are back within 7. That's a wild pass from Reese Newman. And back over to the Vikes goes the basketball. The Vikes had quite a few possessions, especially early in the game, where they didn't get a shot up. That's the first time in a while it's happened to Springs. Check that. That's 2 straight possessions. But prior to that, Springs had taken care of the ball really well. Here is Kiera Shea, left that one short, crawls over the front edge of the rim. And Shea's got 14 for the Vikings. They're back within 5. Another steal for the Vikes. 3 straight possessions with turnovers for Springs. Shea up the floor, floats it up, misses. And Izzy Kuhn down with the rebound. Coach Schroffnagel imploring his team to get back. Set up the defense where they have 3 straight turnovers forced for Springs. Pitts on the left wing. Kuhn trying to get Kuhn in the high post area against the Vikes 1-3-1. Generally a place where you want to look against a 1-3-1, try to pass out of that high post area. But the Vikes doing a nice job against it. Here's Freund. That's a long 3. She hit it. That is the 8th Springs 3 tonight, and they have certainly lived by the triple, and that's a bad pass from Abby Cole. Back over to the other side. And the Vikings, after chipping it back to 5 points, sees the 3 go down and then turns it over, so Springs back to an 8-point lead and the basketball. Here's Pitts down the right side of the paint. Gets it back from Freund underneath to Kuhn. Kuhn looks for the skip pass, finds it. Pitts, Freund gets it over to Newman. Newman missed that one short, so a couple of 3s now from Reese Newman, both of them coming up short for the junior. Here's Abby Cole, back to Nell. Nell drives to the middle of the paint, gives it to Shea. Thought about the 3 once again. Here's Cole. Shea. Nell. Between the circles, crosses once, spins, middle of the paint, kicks it to Cole. Thought about the 3. She didn't catch it cleanly, or I think she would have taken the 3. Instead, it's a long 2 for Abby Cole, and Cole's got 7. Nice. Better offense now from the Vikings, and good defense here from Kiera Shea. Pitts, Kuhn, Newman. Trying to get it underneath to Hoffman. Hoffman reestablishes in the short corner. Bounce pass collected somehow by Newman. That's a terrific job by Reese Newman just to get control of that one. Pitts underneath, kicks it out to Freund. 3 straight 3s. This one misses off to the left. Kuhn keeps it in and gets it back out to Newman. Good hustle there from Izzy Kuhn to earn another possession for the Ledgers. Reese Newman on the left wing. Poked away there by Jess Pino. Good hands to defend Haley Hoffman. This is Sydney Pitts. Skip pass to Newman. Head fake down the left side of the paint and misses it. Good defense by Pino to just go straight up and down. Siri Kuski's running the floor. She gets it here. One dribble blocked by Kuhn. Oh, they're going to get Kuhn on a foul there. Looked like Kuhn blocked it cleanly, but it's going to send Siri Kuski to the free throw line. So Vikes trail by 6. That's the third on Kuhn. Well, if they change this foul could only go on one person. We'll see if they change it here. I would assume that's probably what this discussion is about. Kuhn was the only one in the area. And they are going to change it.
Correction, foul is on number 4, Braylee Freund.
Well, if Freund was there, that's probably the right call. Gotta be honest, I didn't see Freund there. Izzy Kuhn blocked it cleanly, so it should not have gone on her. So that's a nice job to get that right, if indeed that's what that was. I, again, only saw one there, but those fast breaks happen so quickly. I admit that I miss a thing or two. There you go. That's the first time I've admitted a mistake this year. Second free throw upping, no good, but an offensive rebound to Lindsay Nell, and Nell finishes. Nell's up to 14, and the Vikes are back within 4, just chipping away. It's still really quiet in here. Students aren't very loud for the Vikings, as is pretty standard for WLA. Here's the third foul from Abby Cole. It's lacking energy for this team as they've erased what was an 11-point deficit down to 4, and it feels empty in here. Springs does not have a large crowd this year. It does not feel like WLA Springs usually does. I'll just say it that way. Here on the far side, it's Grace Kuhn on a nice drive. Top of the key, she's guarded by Kiera Shea. Hands off there to Izzy Kuhn. Underneath to Hoffman. Good deep post touch for Haley Hoffman. And Hoffman's got 6. If you let her catch that deep, you're probably might as well let her score the 2 points and be done with it. Here's an Abby Cole 3. Looks good. Is good. Abby Cole has 7 second half points. She's into double figures. The Vikings have gotten a couple of players going here in the second half. It's within 3. Down to Hoffman once again. Up and under move. This comes up short. Rebound to Cole. Saves it. Tipped by Shea. Up ahead to Kuski. One-handed pass, and the Vikes. Blocked. Offensive rebound. Kuski fouled. Heading to the free throw line goes Siri Kuski. That was a terrific hustle play by Reese Newman to block Siri Kuski completely clean. Offensive rebound to Shea. She missed it. And another offensive rebound to Siri Kuski. She's at the line. She's 0 for 2. First free throw no good for Siri. Siri shoots it at a 40.7% clip from the free throw line. See if she can hit this one to bring the Vikes within a bucket. That one rattles around and out. Tapped out. Looked last off of Kuhn, but they're going to say it was Cole who did a nice job to work around. Got her hand on it last, so it's back over to Springs. Nice job by Kuhn to just put enough pressure there on the block out to force Abby Cole kind of off balance a little bit. Newman looks far side. This is Conkle. Gracie Conkle bounces to Hoffman, and Hoffman is fouled by Lindsay Nell. Well, the Vikes started out well from the free throw line. They're just 7 for 15 now from the line. WLA back under 50% after starting 6 for 6 from the line, or 5 for 6 from the line. Hoffman's first free throw is good. Meanwhile, Springs is now 4 for 5. Check that, 3 for 4 from the line. And second one for Hoffman is good as well. Full timeout for Coach Reddig. We'll take it with him. The Vikes have chiseled away, but still down by 5. You're watching on WLA TV. Back here out of a timeout. Coach Reddig, I believe in his third year at Springs, done a really nice job with this program now. The class that are juniors now, if I'm correct in that assumption, and I shouldn't say that without, I should have checked with Coach Schroffnagel before the game. I believe it's 3 now for Coach Reddig. Just does a really nice job with his teams. That's blocked by, I think that was, well, it ended up with Kuhn. I think it might have been Newman who got her hand on it. And the Ledgers are coming the other way. It was Lindsay Nell who had it blocked. Newman kicks it out to Kuhn. And they're trying to get Hoffman going underneath. Ends up here with Konkel, and she double dribbled. A little bit of a miscommunication. She thought Kuhn was going to cut earlier, and she didn't. Results in a turnover. Kiera Shea into the front court. Hands off to Cole. Shot fake from Abby Cole. Now a shot fake from Kiera Shea. Cole able to get this one off, misses off to the right, and Kuhn collects the rebound. Kuhn averages 7.3 boards per game. Near side, Reese Newman. She has not made a second half 3. She's bumped on the drive, and that should be 2 on Lindsay Nell. Nell thought she was straight, arms were straight out, and I think she was, but she kind of hip checked Newman there on the drive. Pino comes in for Siri Kuski. Here's Izzy Kuhn. She's guarded by Jess Pino, perhaps has a little bit of a speed advantage there. Gets it to Grace Kuhn, and she is on the end line, going back the other way. That's good defense by, I want to say it was Abby Cole down there. Just stand her ground, make Kuhn go around her. Down the lane goes Kiera Shea, and Shea is fouled by Haley Hoffman. Not much Hoffman could do about that. She was standing there for a long time. Second foul on Hoffman. First free throw is good for Kiera Shea. But Hoffman was there for a while. Kiera Shea, the fact of the matter is, Shea's never going to knock Hoffman over. So as one of the disadvantages of just being a post player, I guess. Vikes have it back within 3, 46-43, 10:21 to go here in the first half. Good job by Cole not to foul, but it leaves Kuhn wide open. Nice dish, and Haley Hoffman finishes. Hoffman's got 8. And Shea's into the front court on the left side, bounces near to Lindsay Nell. And Kiera Shea lost control of it underneath. Here is Konkel into the front court. Spins once, gives to Newman. Newman going to try to slow things down here. Reset the offense with Konkel. She drives on Lindsay Nell. Offensive rebound, and fouled once again is Haley Hoffman. She's had a nice second half. Hoffman had 4 at halftime. She's got 10 points now, 6 in the second half, and she's back to the free throw line. One rhythm dribble for Haley Hoffman. Off the right hand and no good. Hoffman has played a handful less games than the rest of the starters have for Springs out earlier this season. Did not play the first matchup between these two. It might have, I don't want to, again, Haley Hoffman's a terrific player, and Springs certainly a better team with Haley Hoffman on the floor. There's no doubt about that. Here's a bounce pass here to the corner with Siri Kuski. That one's short from Lindsay Nell. Offensive rebound fought for, and it should be jumped. It should go back over to WLA, and it will. But I think it provided a little bit of a situational mismatch for the Vikings. Jess Pino really didn't have anyone to guard defensively. Now with Hoffman back in the lineup, it's a little bit more of a natural matchup when they go man-to-man. But nonetheless, Springs is a much better team with Hoffman out there on the floor. Here's Lindsay Nell. Down to the corner, Kuski. Back to Nell. Has Kira Shea getting open on the near side for three if she wants the skip pass. There it is. Shea. She's finally going to trigger a three. This one comes up short. Cole going to battle for the offensive rebound, but she was standing out of bounds. And the Vikes, they've gotten to that 6-point mark. And a timeout for Coach Schaffnagel. Full for him. 6-point deficit for the Vikes. Back with more after this. WLA TV. Back out of the timeout. Had a microphone difficulty there. Apologies for that. Here is Ellie Judkins for Springs. Kicks it out to Newman. Newman shot fake. Driving on Shea. Far side, that is Conkle. Uses a couple of screens. Loses control of it. Saves it to Hoffman. Kicks it out to Newman. Shot fake there. Tell you what, Reese Newman can get that three off just about whenever she wants with her length. She's going to get a wide open one here. This comes up short. She's 0 for 3 in the second half. And Lindsay Nell able to get a block of Conkle. Check that, Judkins underneath. But it'll stay with Springs. Underneath it is Newman who gets, that's so easy. But Conkle can't get it to go. Defensive board, nice box from Siri Kuski. Near side, Abby Cole going to bring it into the front court for the Vikes. Hands off to Conkey. Bounces to Shea between the circles. Underneath, and another possession where the Vikes don't get a shot. And I think what Coach Schaffnagel is saying there is just slow down. They're only down by 6. They have 8+ minutes left in the game. Plenty of time for the Vikings to just settle down. But they are going to extend this 1-3-1 just a little bit into about a 3/4 court. Newman gets open here in the corner, feeds underneath. That's Pitts. Kicks it out, top of the key. Conkle drives. Up with the left hand. That's a nice take. Gracie Conkle has 6 for Springs. Shea into the front court, and the lead is back to 8 for the Ledgers. Near side, Conkey. Cole gets to her spot. Floater missed. Offensive rebound, tipped around, ends up with the defensive board. Newman, nice cross. She's into the front court. Reese Newman, left hand drive, Euro step. And they're going to get a block on Siri Kuski. I don't know why he pointed at the floor like there was a restricted circle there. There's not. It was a block from Siri Kuski because she was shuffling her feet. And it'll stay with Springs underneath. 5th team foul for the Vikings. Just 3 for Springs. Here's Pitts. I'll tell you what, Springs has made it look so simple on underneath inbounds plays, and the lead is back to 10. Here's Conkey. Crosses. Poked away from her. Here's Conkle. Up ahead. Oh, to Judkins. Judkins is out of bounds. Conkle there, I don't think she realized how open she was going down the left side of the floor. She could have just laid it in herself. I'm a fan of the extra pass as much as anyone, but sometimes it's good to be selfish. But who am I to say? Conkle has 6 points tonight. I had 0 points in my high school career. In 0 games played, might I add. Pretty efficient. Underneath, Abby Cole misses that one. Defensive rebound, Izzy Kuhn. The Vikings continue to struggle underneath. Can't get the bunnies to go, and that's part of the reason they've only scored 43 tonight. Reese Newman. I think the Viking fans are imploring for a offensive foul there on Newman. I think it's just good. I think that's just how you protect the basketball when you're dribbling. You keep an arm out. Viking, don't tell that to the home fans. Judkins a little bit out of control, no whistle there, and it'll go back to the Vikings. I think that was why there was no whistle. Judkins was a little out of control. Freund back into the game. She's hit 3 threes for the Ledgers, and that's essentially what the deficit is right now for the Vikings. It's a 10-point lead for Springs as Kiera Shea will lob it over to Maddie Lair in the front court. Far side, that's Kuski. Trying to work a 2-person game, get either Cole or Nell to the high post. There it is. Now look underneath. Abby Cole was trying to get position there. 3-ball missed from Kiera Shea. Up ahead, Conkle, run the floor well, missed it. Good defensive board from Lindsay Nell on the glass. Here's Nell. Down the left side, kicks it. Here's a 3-ball on the way. Maddie Lair can't get it to go. That's a good box from Abby Cole, but the length once again of Springs rears its ugly head for the Vikings. Sydney Pitts left open here. Izzy Kuhn was the one who tipped the rebound to herself, and Sydney Pitts down the lane up with the left hand and good. Lead back up to 12. This is the response to runs that Springs lacked last year. I mentioned it in the first half. They have been done a really nice job. Very good responding to WLA runs. And there's another empty possession for the Vikes. It's going to be a 30-second timeout from Coach Schroffnagel. As you look at some of the storylines for the Vikings where they might have done better, certainly empty possessions is one, but they're also 7 for 15 from the line. There's another. They fouled too much defensively. There's another, and they can't get enough defensive rebounds. Those are the storylines for Coach Schroffnagel. Now, all of those things notwithstanding, they've held Springs to 55 points thus far, which is probably right about where Springs should be at this point in the game based on their season averages. But WLA has not gotten it going enough offensively. When they don't shoot the ball well, they really, really struggle to score if they can't get into transition. They haven't been able to tonight. 12-point lead for Springs. Here's Sydney Pitts. Coach Schroffnagel wants the pressure increased a little bit. They're switching everything. And Conkle gets to the rim, finishes. Gracie Conkle's got 8. The lead's back out to 14. Vikes got to do something quick. Hit a couple of shots. Maddie Lair down the middle of the paint. Can't get it to go. Rebound to Pitts. She wants to run. Gets it up ahead to Tessa Tenney's. Tenney's bounced down to Kuhn. And it's a steal for the Vikings. Here's Kiera Shea. Has a couple of swipes at it. And that's the third foul on Izzy Kuhn. Oh, that was in the paint. Why is that on the side? That looked like it happened in the paint. Should be the third on Kuhn. They show only 1 on the scoreboard, but she had 2 at halftime. There's the triple for Kiera Shea. Shea's going to have to hit a couple more of them if WLA is going to get back into this one. It's an 11-point Springs lead. Conkle down the lane, up with the right hand. Can't get it to go. Nice box by Abby Cole. Gets the defensive board, bounces near side to Kiera Shea. That's the first 3 for Kiera Shea this evening. Shea's up near the 20-point mark. We'll add that up at the next stoppage for you. She has it here. Skip pass to Lindsay Nell. Nell spins down the paint, up with the right hand, gets it to go. I'll tell you what, Lindsay Nell, it's not a hook shot, but it kind of looks like a hook shot for Lindsay Nell, and it's effective. So a 5-0 run for the Vikings, trying to get back into this one. They still trail by 9. This is Pitts, hands to Freund. Freund back to Pitts. Sydney Pitts crosses once, hands back off to Freund. Down underneath to Kuhn. Nice defense there from Abby Cole. Skip pass, top of the key, Freund. This is terrific patience from Springs. They know they're up 9. They know the clock is in their favor. This is like the classic 4-minute offense. There's a foul on Abby Cole. That one, Coach Reddig with the assist on that one, I think. He was not happy that an earlier entry pass to Kuhn that was swatted away by Cole, not happy that that wasn't whistled a foul. So I think that one was always coming. Starters back out onto the floor for Springs, minus Freund plus Tessa Tenney's. This is like the 4-minute offense in football. They're going to get a kick there, and it'll stay with the Ledgers. Run Kuhn off a couple of screens. Tenney's. Newman. And Kiera Shea is going to get whistled for another foul. We know that whistle works over there. And that is the 7th team foul. Springs has just 4. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just telling you the facts. Newman at the free throw line. A couple of rhythm dribbles. A spin off of the right hand. Misses it. Long rebound. Newman almost got her own offensive rebound. Down the lane goes Kiera Shea. Ooh, that's blocked. Shea shuffled her feet. That could have been whistled as a travel. But the Vikings will take advantage of it. Kuski is open in the corner. Instead, they're going to lob it up to Lindsay Nell. Nell has it once again from Shea. Kicks it to Shea in the corner. Shot fake. Down the lane she goes. Up with the floater. And that almost banked in from Kiera Shea. It was a little too strong from the junior. Near side Pitts. Down to the corner. Tenney's. And Tenney's is fouled. That was a non-intentional intentional foul from Maddie Lair. Now Tenney's is a terrific three-point shooter. Springs is about where WLA is, shooting free throws right in the 60% range for pretty much everyone on their team. Tessa Tenney's, now my cheat sheet only has so much room on it, so I don't have free throw percentages for the opposition. So forgive me if Tessa Tenney's is a terrific free throw shooter and I don't know it, but she goes 2 for 2 here, and that's really all that matters this evening. Lead back out to 11 for Springs as WLA has to get something going in a hurry here in the positive direction if they're going to eke one out here against Springs. Springs looking like they're going to complete the season sweep over their crosstown rivals, take second in the Flyway Conference. Here's a 3 from Lindsay Nell, straight away, missed off to the right. Offensive rebound, Kuski. Here's Shea. Looks underneath to Nell, now dribbles down the paint. They're going to say it was no shot, and on the floor.
All on the Ledgers, number 22, Sydney Pitts.
Two minutes and 35 seconds left. Here's Kuski on the drive. Siri Kuski up with the floater. Nice box there from Maddie Lair. Ended up giving the space to Lindsay Nell. Nell up with the right hand. She's going to head to the free throw line. First free throw from Lindsay Nell is no good. Nell's now 3 for 5 from the free throw line. And the second free throw is good for Nell. Here's Izzy Kuhn. Back to Reese Newman, and I think, Newman's just going to send everyone else down the floor, try to take Kiera Shea one-on-one. Good luck. And she's able to spin her way into the front court. That's the most success anyone's had in a one-on-one dribbling situation against Kiera Shea in a long time. Grace Kuhn is fouled. She'll go back to the line. The Vikings trying to extend this last 2 minutes as long as they possibly can by fouling early and often. They started fouling with more than 3 minutes to go. Free throw from Kuhn didn't hit anything, so the whistle there goes back to the Vikings. That's the last opportunity for the Vikes to foul in the normal bonus. Everything now is 2 shots for Springs. Here's Maddie Lair. Kira Shea left wide open, missed the 3 short. Newman down with the rebound, and Shea's going to try to poke it out of her hand. That's a foul. I don't know if Shea thought so, but looked like she got the left arm or right arm of Reese Newman. Newman's 0 for 3 from the line tonight. So I guess from a recency bias standpoint, this is probably who you would want to send to the line if you're the Vikings. Now, all that being said, Newman hit 4 threes in the first half and was part of the reason that Springs built the large, impressive lead that they had about midway through the second half. But she's now 0 for 4 from the free throw line. And that one goes down. If you're a Wisconsin Badger fan, Alondo Tucker is the basketball player that those free throws remind me of. They're so flat, they barely get over the front edge of the iron, and that's probably some of the struggles that we've seen from Newman. But again, you can't take away anything from her performance. Izzy Kuhn goes under the screen, but Abby Cole can't hit it. Shea saves it, but standing out of bounds was Maddie Lair. 1 minute and 37 seconds left. The Vikes have fouled quickly, but their offensive possessions have taken a little too long here down the stretch. Shea able to tip that one, and Pitts is able to get all the way into the front court, and the Vikes not able to foul her. Now Maddie Lair picks it up. So senior night looks like it's going to be ruined here by Springs. First free throw for Pitts is up and good. Pitts has 7, quiet 7 for Sydney Pitts tonight. She averages 7.2 points per game. Talked about the balance that Springs has. Pitts goes 2 for 2 from the free throw line. She has 8. That was exemplified tonight in a big way. Got big night from Reese Newman. But other than that, it was just a balanced effort that we've come to expect from St. Mary's Springs this season. Abby Cole fighting for it underneath. And it is a jump ball, or whatever that signal was underneath. And it's back over to Springs with a $1:15 left. Newman looks to key it in. Stolen by Kiri Kuski. Cross-court pass to Kira Shea, and Shea scores. Coach Schroffnagel quick with the 30-second timeout. Vikes still trail by 11. We're going to take the 30 seconds with them. Finish the game out right after this. Stay with us. Out of the timeout, Newman in the corner. Vikes got to either get a steal or decide to foul at some point. Not sure Pitts is the one. She just hit 2 of them. And Lindsay Nell on the arm bar picks up the foul. 11-point lead. For the Ledgers, Pitts to the line. She leaves that one short.
Lead for the Ledgers, number 13, Haley Hoffman.
Want to thank Alec Oberg tonight for running the camera. Alec has done so many of these games. Monday, if we're able to bring it to you, still uncertain about Monday's game as Sydney Pitts misses the second free throw. Down the lane like a lightning bolt comes Kira Shea, kicks it back out to Nell. Nell misses that short. Good rebound. Izzy Kuhn. Pitts into the front court. Vikes, are they going to foul, or is Coach Strafnagel going to call off the dogs here? I think he's going to, yeah. No foul for the Vikings, so the Ledgers will probably just dribble it out here. Newman had a heck of a night here this evening for the Ledgers, hitting 4 threes. Springs hit 8 total. They're going to walk out of WLA enemy territory, a place that not long ago they lost a playoff game by 30-plus points, and avenge it this year by sweeping the Vikings in Flyway Conference play. WLA going to fall to 10-4, finish third in the Flyway. They'll be the 3 seed coming up next week in regionals. They're 17-6 on the season. Springs moves to 20-4 on the year. They'll finish the Flyway 12-2 and finish second place to Laconia. Could see these two teams coming up next week once again. This would be a regional final, and it would be played at Springs. That would be next Saturday evening. Get you some final numbers here as the Vikings lose it to Springs. Braylee Freund had 9 for Springs. Izzy Kuhn, a really quiet night, and this really is the testament here to Coach Reddig and his crew. They get an 11-point win, 62-51 over WLA, a tough conference opponent, and your leading scorer, Izzy Kuhn, scores 4. Dealt with some foul trouble, dealt with some adversity, but let the game come to her, and Izzy Kuhn, that's a definition of leadership there for the Springs senior. She had 4. Haley Hoffman had a nice second half. She scored 7 in the second half, finished with 11 for the Ledgers. Nice night for Haley Hoffman. Grace Kuhn had 2. Tell you what, the 2 freshmen that got action tonight, Grace Kuhn had 2 and Gracie Conkle had 8. Those 2 did not look like freshmen on the floor, and again, I think that's testament to good coaching from Coach Reddig and his staff. 5 points for Tessa Tenney's. Sydney Pitts had 6 second half points. She finished with 8. And the leading scorer tonight, as mentioned several times, Reese Newman, had 14 in the first half, needed just 1 from her in the second half. She finished with 15, the leading scorer for Springs. 1 point for McKenna Conkey for the Vikings, 2 for Jess Pino. Siri Kuski did not score tonight for WLA despite having 4 attempts from the free throw line. Abby Cole had 3 at halftime, ended up with 10. Lindsay Nell, a quiet 17 for Lindsay Nell, so that was above her season average of 15.2. Leading scorer tonight for the Vikings was Kira Shea. Shea had 21 for the Vikings. That is a streak of scoring in the 20 for Shea now that spans 3 or 4 games, and she has seen her average shoot up to first on the team. She trailed Lindsay Nell for most of the season, now up over the 16-point mark. 21 tonight might push her over the 17 or very close to the 17-point mark heading into the postseason. So a regular season for the Vikings ends with a 17-6 record, a team that last year did not lose a regular season game before the debacle of the playoffs, which was politics that we don't talk about anymore. I promised you that earlier this season, so we won't talk about it. But the Vikings did not lose a regular season game last season. Now 17-6 this year in the regular campaign. So next week they have a bye in the first round. They're the 4 seed. They will play the winner of Valders and Horicon. That is here on Friday night. We will do our best to bring that to you next Friday night. And then if they win that and Springs takes care of business on their side, next Saturday night a regional final will be contested up at Springs between WLA and Springs. That would be a rematch of the regional final from a year ago. 62-51, that's the final here. WLA TV, Monday night, probably your next chance. Ethan Cole looking to break a program record. He sits at 1,307 points. The record's 1,312. and he will do it on Monday night against Luther Prep. That's coming up on Monday. Hope you'll join us then. Jordan King saying so long, good night. You've been watching WLA Girls Basketball on WLA TV.